What's up, YouTube? I hope everyone is doing well. Um, so today was really interesting. I actually went to see One Love, the Bob Marley story. Then went to La Cantera Mall, ate at J. Alexander's, and came back and watched the Wendy Williams documentary. I recorded it, so I watched it. So first of all, I watched the Bob Marley story, and that was very interesting. The movie kept my attention. I think that they skipped over some things, but overall, the movie was put together very well. Rita Marley was a force to be reckoned with. They talked about his father not being there, pretty much had sex with the mom and left him, um, and how that affected him. And Rita, who was actually not born in Jamaica, she was born in Cuba, but migrated early in her life to Jamaica. And during this time, it was in the 70s, and there was some upheaval between political parties, and it got really violent in Jamaica. And so Bob Marley at the time was making political music, and he was going to have a concert. And in the house, he was shot, his manager was shot, and they shot Rita in the head. And she lived, he lived, and they had the concert, and she made it to that concert to perform, and she's really been with Bob Marley. And so it really goes on there and tells the story of Bob Marley. And I thought it was really good. It was unfortunate that he died of cancer, but he was separated from her. He was in Europe while she was in the States. The kids were raised kind of separately, and then they came back together. There were a lot of things going on in this story. So if you haven't seen One Love, please go check it out. I think it's well worth it. It really shows that he had some tough decisions to make. And with his health, he had cancer. He died of cancer at age 36. But you can tell the family had a hand in this movie. The only negative thing they showed about Bob Marley, we all knew he smoked weed. We know that he was a Rastafarian. We knew that. But they really skipped over the other baby mamas. The only reason why we knew that was because Rita said, and I even take care of the children that aren't even mine. And I thought that was really interesting. So I think it was a good movie, but because Rita is still living, Ziggy and all of the family members had a say in this movie. It was a really sanitized story. Now I go to Mahalia Jackson's story on Lifetime, I believe, and it showed the good, the bad, and the ugly. Um, and I thought that was interesting as well. So I wanted to put that on out. But I came home and then I had a chance to watch the Wendy Williams documentary. And I'm going to tell you, money does not buy you happiness. It can buy you things that may make life comfortable, but it does not buy happiness. And with fame comes a price. I really felt sorry for Wendy Williams because she really has no friends. And everyone who does something for her, it's for a cost. And I thought that was really sad. She hadn't seen her son doing a documentary for 8 months. Um, Her money is under guardianship. She can't do what she wants to with it. No credit cards, no nothing, and that has caused some problems. They felt Wells Fargo felt that some family members might have been doing something nefarious. Um, Her son had a birthday. Wendy, I guess, likes to spend large, and they questioned it. Next thing you know, she doesn't have control over her money. It's a third party, and I thought it was interesting. It, you really want to feel sorry for Wendy, but there were some parts in that documentary that I was cringing, and I think it was smart before the documentary came out to say that she suffers from this disease. Wendy's health is not good. She showed her feet. She has, you know, the circulation issue where it causes, they call them the elephant legs, and and she also, I had never seen Wendy without her wig, and it was a brief point where she didn't have it. And she has long hair, but it seems like it's falling out. And so I found that to be interesting. She loves the camera. She likes the spotlight. She really wants to get back to work, but I don't think that she's ready to go back to work. And I think that she should really get her health together and focus on that. I think her son really knows her well to say, my mom is with a lot of yes people, and they will do what she wants them to do. And she does not need alcohol. And I think he was very spot on. I'm gonna tell you what, that boy looks just like his daddy. Oh my God. Yeah. Um yeah, let me say this. I hope it is the mental, I hope it's the illness. One thing that really bothered me is how she talked to people, how she talked to that manicurist, how she talked to that stylist, how she talked to her assistant who is helping her. It was just crazy. And I'm like, and the lady said, you got to have tough skin. But she called the lady stupid. And you all, it's hard to work with people when they do stuff like that, because no one should have to go through that abuse. And if it wasn't for those people, she would really be up the creek. And yeah, and the driver as well. And I'm like, why do you do that? Why do you do that? And I'm like, how do you talk to these people that way? And that really bothered me. I'm famous. Yeah, but you're in a situation. She told the lady she need lipo. I mean, because they were going to LA, and oh my God, it was, and the lady, and then the lady was in the closet trying to get stuff for her, and she just, oh my God, she was just out of control. Um, and I think the mental thing is there. I think the alcohol has not helped, and I thought they were really looking out for her to request that she has no alcohol, and even the man was at the restaurant saying, no, 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 she can't get any alcohol, and he was letting her know because she wanted wine. He was finding bottles in the bathroom under the shelf, and she's sad. It's sad. She couldn't remember where she lived. Yes, Hershey. I was about to get there. She couldn't tell you where her childhood home was, and then the fashions. Um, I was like, these people in the documentary, they could have shot her waist up, but we didn't need to see all of her church, all of her goodness and mercy. And I just think it's terrible. And you know, her legs, and we're seeing her legs open, and her she almost wanted to show her breast, and I'm like, wow. And then when she came back, she saw that, and she was looking at her wardrobe choice, and I was like, wow. I was just blown away by that. I knew it was going to be drama when she was crying at the beginning. And let me say this, I understand that she's on the onslaught of that dementia. And I know, and that's what I was hoping, that it was that. Um, but it was hard, you all. It was hard. And then the alcohol doesn't help either. And I understand what you all are saying. Um, it's crazy. And that's what I'm saying, Adrena. Um, that's what I believe. I believe it because she couldn't even stay on task with certain things. And this is why I think that the television thing should just be put on the back burner until her health is taken care of. Yeah, 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 and it is hard. It is hard. I was reading some of the comments that people were leaving saying this is karma, and I thought that was really mean. Um, but you all, it was really hard to look at. It was really hard, and it will get worse. That's the sad part about it. It's going to get worse. Um, but I think that the alcohol will really play a major effect, a major part in her, at least. Yeah, because the alcohol was deep as well, you all. And Sharon, I believe you. And let me say this, you all. I am not saying that it's her karma. They were just showing the text messages, and I just thought it was sad, you all. It was really sad. She's gone through a lot. She triumphed over a lot. She lost her mom. She lost her marriage. She's lost a lot of stuff, and again, it's a lot of things going on. And you know what, you all, I'm a I'm a little afraid when it comes to her relatives, and I don't want to. I think they really care for her, but people will start spending your money before you even out here, and I don't think that her mental state. I don't know, you all, and it's really hard to say because your family is supposed to be there for you, love you, but sometimes people do some things that are not always in your best interest. And it's hard to trust people, especially, and you know, she really has no friends. All the people who really are her friends, they work with her or want something from her. I think the most genuine interaction I've seen was Black China, and that was very touching to see Black China talk with Wendy. But even with that, it seems like at times she forgot who Black China was until the hug, and I just knew that it was something really deeper than that. So let me see what you all are saying. I looked at the documentary, and you got to realize that she does have that dementia that's going to progressively get worse. But it is so hard to see people get talked to like that. And I know that it's the disease, but it is hard. I mean, it was difficult for me to sit there and watch it. And the lady said, "Yeah, I got thick skin," and so I was like, "Wow, it takes a strong person to be able to deal with that. Even if you know it's the disease, you can't help but feel some kind of way because we're human. So let me look at your comments. Eventually, she's not going to recognize anybody, and it gets worse as they begin to try to fight. You've had my cousins. Oh, okay, Adrena, gotcha. Yeah, she has the same dementia as Bruce Willis. He dealt with substance abuse in his early career. There is no cure, just a countdown. Yeah. And that may have really triggered it as well. And unfortunately, drug usage may be a part of that, you all. But, you know, you can only just deal with it. Yes, so alcohol makes it worse. You all said this disease can take 2 years from the first being diagnosed to 20 years. It depends on the person. But at any point, Wendy Williams do not need to be ever be on TV because the disease takes over. Yes, you can't trust people because they will take advantage. The fact that the court found no family fit is a huge flag. Even Britney Spears was under the care of her father, who was later found to be shady. Yeah, I had to stop watching it because it really started to trigger me because I've gone through it and it seeing my cousin who was extremely educated, vibrant, dwindle down to nothing. Oh, yeah. Um, yeah, it was something else, you all. It's definitely not a win-win situation. And the sad part about it is that you know, yeah, because she's gonna need that money to take care of herself. Really. And y'all, I don't know her family. To be honest, I don't know about her family, but when it comes to and this is why I kind of agree with the court and her son. The son had a birthday party that one of the cousins admitted was probably around about $100,000. Wendy likes to spend money, and when you have a disease this progressive, you don't need to be spending money like that. And they really need to be taking care of her and making sure she's getting the best help. And even though the son said I did nothing without my mom's permission, but now that they have this diagnosis, it can't happen that way. And I would trust the guardians to do the job to make sure that she's going to her appointments and getting the help that she needs because how these family members or at least the son, and I'm not saying that he's a bad person, but $100,000 for a birthday party, and you'll blow right through that money. You know how many people we've seen with millions and millions, and they blown right through it, and then the next thing you know, they're broke. So I don't think she's even capable at this particular point, and it was just terrible. Paulette said past the 7 minute on Bree the other day that she was never pregnant and that she got an ultrasound on her fibroids. Okay, I have look. Hey, whatever. I mean, I don't put anything past anybody. I'm a clinical psychotherapist, and unfortunately, drug usage can cause this at an early age, simply because you're killing your brain cells every time you light up. So sad. Okay. Hey, smart show. People are saying they don't even trust the son. Well, like I said, he seems very nice. But he may not be stable enough to make decisions. I don't know. I mean, $100,000 for a birthday party seems extreme to me. You all, alcohol, not so much, but definitely heavy drug use is better. Okay, you can have a stroke early in life and heredity also. Okay, I'm reading you. Her son had no business charging 100K to her car and her condition. That's why the court stepped in. She needs special help because I truly believe she's in danger and she's not surrounded. Okay, she had a mild stroke in on air supposedly. I remember that time too. Yeah. I know many people in years of practice that this happened to even earlier. Wow. I hate that people think this is karma for doing what most people do, gossip about celebrities. Wendy admitted being a heaven. Yeah, she did. She has. She never hid that. I personally know a fact that a stroke can cause dementia. She had a best friend by the name away, and what I'm not understanding, when that best friend speak out because Wendy Williams' niece was on the View on Wednesday. Yeah. Well, you all, I think it is sad. I'm gonna watch part two, but part one was a lot. Um, and people don't think about long term, short term things, and and you can't sit there and point fingers because some people were fortunate and they skipped that and they could have been in the same predicament. So all I can, yeah, it seems like her health deteriorated after Kevin broke her heart. You know, it's a lot of stuff going on with her, you all. So yeah, I just wanted to come on and just kind of talk about that show and what's going on. Now look, Trump won the South Carolina primaries. So um I don't know what's going on. And he's selling shoes for $400 and he wants black people to get them, which I think is really interesting because that's pretty racist what they're trying to do. And they think because he has a shoe that black people are supposed to flock and vote for him and buy. I just, they really think black people are stupid. And y'all, we can't give people that. We really can't. You know, we really can't. We really can't. So I think we need to be very, very careful. What's up, Tracy? Yeah, I think we really need to be watching what's going on. Um, and I think the Wendy Williams thing is really important too about drug alcohol usage and you got to be so careful, you all. And everybody want fame, but fame is not always what it's cracked up to be. And money can buy some things, but I see a person who is not happy. How many people in Hollywood and these entertainers with all of this money, but they're extremely sad and extremely miserable? Um, I was watching again with the Bob Marley. I can really appreciate Bob Marley because he did have a message and he was a part of a ministry. But those dates and then I watched the Clark sisters again. I really watched the Clark sisters again and y'all, as much as I like Maddie Moss, Twinkie didn't get to finish college because her mama. So her mama didn't let her we don't want to realize that, but Twinkie got married because she wanted to explore. And we can say whatever we want about Denise, but Denise had a chance to come back and didn't. Yeah, she made some mistakes but Denise got married and somebody loved her for who she was. But I'll just look at Twinkie didn't finish Howard. And then she blamed herself for her mother's death. And the moms, according to the movie, said that you put a bullet through our family, and it was hard. And even though she was a minister, even though she was an evangelist, um, what was really these dates and then she was on the Grammy, and then the Kojic Church is telling her that she was doing it. It was a mess, you all. And even in church, it was crazy. And fame in the church can be a mess. And I just think it's something else. Eric Mays passed. I don't know who. I may know who that is, but Queenie, tell me who that is, Queenie, because there's so much going on. So look, you all. I'm just saying, you all look. don't despise the lives of these rich and famous people, because some of them don't sleep at night. Some of them have some serious drug addictions and alcohol addictions. And as we're seeing that a lot of these executives and these directors and these people control these folks' lives. Oh, he died. Oh my God. Oh my God. So you all, thank you for reminding me who that is. Um, Councilman Mays was that man who was in Flint who would give him hell, and I guess he passed away. And I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, a lot of people didn't like him, but yeah, so I'm sure a lot of people will attend that funeral. A lot of people don't like him, but hey, that man spoke his mind. So um, yeah, you all. So value your life. Sometimes we don't think we have anything because we don't work on a job and we done did that same job. But you know what? You go home every day with peace of mind. You can go to the mall without anybody trying to get an autograph. You don't have any paparazzi trying to shoot, you know, um, you get your picture, and it's sad. It is sad. And so I look at Wendy and it seems like she really don't have any real friends. And everybody who likes her, they likes her because she got money, or they want to be attached to her, or they'll write a book about her, or and it's a lot of stuff going on. So yeah, yeah. Oh well, look, you all. I am I'm really getting ready to end here. I just really wanted to talk a little bit about the Wendy Williams. You all, let me tell you something. With or without that debilitating disease, it was really hard for me to see her talk to those people like that and to call those people stupid. Oh, it was hard. It was hard, and the lady knew she oof, and the driver, and then when they had to get that vape pen, and she had that girl going in and out that vape pen store, and then she wanted to pass by the Wendy Williams show 8 times, and the people in production was trying to wrap it up, and it was hard. It was very hard. It was very hard to deal with. Very hard. So I will watch part two. If you haven't seen the Bob Marley story, One Love, go see it. It's a good movie. Rita Marley she was portrayed as a strong black woman, and baby Rita got Bob Marley together when they were in London. She got them together, and just like the sister, when he realized that she was right, he apologized, and she said, "That's water under the bridge." Man, it was a good movie. Um, I really had a problem how they was taping her at the beginning, and they had her legs. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, are they gonna show her crotch? I'm like, bring the camera up, and then that wig, when her wig was off, and Wendy has some hair, but you can tell a lot of her hair was missing. It was like it was falling out in splotches, and I was very surprised that she even let that run with that wig not being on her head. Paulette, let me tell you what they did for that, and I'm glad you mentioned that. This is going back to this is going back to the Bob Marley story. They showed her, but not as the baby mama. They just kept on showing her, and they really didn't get into it. And I think because Ziggy is alive, I think because Rita Marley is still alive, they did not go into detail. They did show a woman, But if you didn't know, the only reason why I know that there was some indiscretions is when Rita slapped the hell out of him and said, "Not only am I taking care of our children, but the children from them other women, and I'm taking care of those kids too." And that's when you know that Bob Marley had some indiscretions with some other women, or at least that woman. And you keep on saying, but they didn't go into detail. And that's one thing I didn't like about the movie. They did not go into detail about that. And it was, if you would have think Bob Marley was a complete saint, no problems. The only time you knew that was when Rita mentioned that. But his family had a lot of control of that movie. Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up. Seems like if you've been a mean person, dementia will really make you meaner. Sharon, let me say this. I think Wendy was already a mean person. I think she could be sweet, but I think she could be very mean, very demanding, very the it, you know, um, and even yeah, yeah, I see that, and I think, like I said, I don't know her person. Let me say this, you all. Let me say this. Let me say this. I had Wendy Williams on my flight. Wendy, Kevin, and Kevin Jr. They were flying from LA going back to New York. Hold on for a minute. I'm sorry, you all I had to step away. I had to step away. I'm back. And I'm gonna read your comments, so don't think I'm not gonna get to your comments. But I was working at Delta, and I worked a trans-con trip from LA to New York. And you're always gonna get a celebrity somewhere on that LA to New York trip, or the Delta shuttle, which is from DC to New York. If there's a White House press correspondence dinner, you're going to see a lot. Most of the Delta shuttle people were politicians, and, but Wendy Williams, Kevin, Kevin Jr. were on the flight. And Kevin sat at the window. Wendy sat on the aisle, and Kevin Jr. sat at the window across from his mom, and they had it that no one would sit in that seat. And they sat at the bulkhead of first class. And this was a 757. And the 757 is a good plane for privacy, because on a 757, the first class people enter on the left and everybody else is on the right. You enter from the midsection of the plane. And so a lot of celebrities like 757, it don't really matter, but the 757s give you more privacy. So when Shaka Khan came on, it was a 757. So they know with that plane, you know, celebrities, people, first class, they're going to go on in first class. They're going to make their left, and they don't have to, people are not going to walk past them and see them. Because unless you're in first class, there's no way you should be going into that area. And so also, they like it because first class is the first to board. Not the first board, but they're the first to leave. So Wendy, Kevin, and Kevin Jr. sat in that bulkhead seat because they hold coach and let first class depart. So Wendy, Kevin, and Kevin Jr. will be the first to leave out. And I must admit, Wendy Williams was very pleasant. Kevin didn't say anything. He was at the window, but Kevin Jr. was very polite, Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. He had manners. Again, he had manners. So I never forget that flight. And this is when she was pretty much just starting to show. She was in it for a while, but this is when it was hot. This is when everybody was getting to know who Wendy Williams was, and it was hot. And so I never forget. And usually people treat folk bad. So and see, this is why I say that you don't know what behavior people are going to display. But Wendy Williams was a perfect client, celebrity client. She didn't ask for much. She was thank you. So it was just hard for me to see what those people were going through because I'm like, this ain't the person that flew with me. And again, like I said, you don't know how they are when they are with other people. But this is when she was just getting into, she must have been either 1 or 2 years into that show, 1 or 2 years, because I remember her from radio and then coming in, but it was totally different. And I just remember them flying with us. And so, yeah, and I met her. She was very gracious, and that's what I remember. And so it's really hard to see what's going on now. So let me read your comments now. Jay Wilson, Johnny Mac coming for 5. I heard they're talking about this copyright thing, and yeah, yeah. Somebody sent me that saying that he was trying to get that name and stuff, and they had it. I haven't really been following it, but I'm sure it will work itself out. I don't think Wendy even realized she had no wig on. Okay, she said she wouldn't be caught dead without her wig on. She was caught. Now, Hershey, you know how he is. Thanks for answering. It seems like he was in love with the white lady. And you know what? It's really interesting because they did not show her. All they showed her is looking back, but nothing. And it's like, well, who is this white lady? But she had no speaking role. They just showed her. And the only reason why you know that something was wrong because Rita mentioned it when they had an argument. But again, Ziggy, his mama, and the sisters, they had a lot of control over how that went out. Her issues are serious, but to me, it also appears that she is in somewhat of a catatonic state. Her state is not entirely physical. It appears she is deep. Okay, her legs are shocking. Yeah, those Jamaican and African women are strong. Staying with well, yeah, I didn't know all of that until she mentioned it. J Boss, I still think she can possibly be helped, or at least it doesn't have to progress as fast. I think she was mean too, and I do think as people get that fame, they start thinking that they're God and they can treat people any kind of way because how she was talking to those folk, I'm like, wow, because this can happen to anyone. Okay. So people are catatonic, often make diagnosed with dementia. They're like, okay, these meds may help her in the interim. Okay. Does anybody know where I can catch the documentary? It's on Lifetime. They're rolling it. They're rolling it. They're rolling it right now. So everybody's playing it. Well, Lifetime is. Lifetime said they're gonna get their money's worth. Okay. Okay, that may be a little hard. So it may come on Tubi or one of those channels, the places where you don't have to have cable. But yeah, so yeah, it was difficult to watch. It was difficult to watch, and it seemed like she did take a downward spiral after the Kevin situation. Her son said the same, and a lot of people felt that way. And yeah, Yes, Lavender Spirit. Somebody just told us that Councilman Eric Mays passed away. Oh, baby, some people are gonna miss him. Some people are glad he ain't there no more because Eric Mays gave it to the kids. He didn't care who you were, and he was gonna have his say. And oh my God, you know, oh my God, I'm sorry to hear about that. So anyway, part two will be coming on, and we'll be seeing what happens with that, you all. Um, you know, this is why I say that it's not you're either part of the problem, part of the solution, and I'm okay with doing what I'm doing and not really calling and saying disparaging things about people and looking at the evidence because the famous thing and all of this, we see what's going on. Famous can't do nothing for you except get you better health care. But, you know, Bob Marley, the cancer, couldn't stop it. And I don't think he really wanted to go through all of the surgery and stuff either. Some people wanted him to. I guess he didn't, but he still left here. And and again, it's just sad. Her dad was on. Oh, her brother came on, and a lot of people feel that her brother exploited her, and so a lot of people was not too pleased with seeing him. And the niece was on. It was a lot, you all. Oh my God. And that vape pen situation and her laying in the bed and the clothes everywhere. And the lady said that the cat had threw up and it just smelled. And then she was talking to what's the lady on Shark Tank? Barbara. And she started talking about cats. And Barbara was like, excuse me. I mean, it was just hard because here's this person who just read all of the gossip and stuff and so on and so forth. And now she can't even stay focused to talk about celebrity gossip or anything. And, that big old house, but yet there were some issues. Yeah. Adrena, I think it might have, I truly believe it might have triggered a lot of people because it was something. And then like I said, Adrena, like you said, I don't know where she is in this process, but you have to remind yourself that this woman may be really sick. We know that she got a new diagnosis, and I think the diagnosis came a little bit before the documentary came out. But you had to remember that this person may be sick because how she was talking to that lady, oh, what she did to that manicurist and how she talked to that manicurist. Oh my God. I'm like, oh God. And then that liquor thing, and I drink when I want to drink, and it was hard to take. It was very hard to take. So I can see how it can be triggering. So yeah. Well, look, you all, I'm getting ready to call it a night. I'm getting ready to get rested because I gotta be up in the morning. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that, and it's just a lot that is going on. So yeah, and the people. Let me tell you something. Black people sure will pray for you because the people in her neighborhood, they were still excited to see her, and yeah, and people really don't know what this woman was going through. Seemed like she was going through a whole lot. So yeah. Well, look, y'all take care, and I will talk to y'all tomorrow. Peace and love.